Yeah. Yeah. Oh, Peter, why don't you go ahead and check out the It's Always Something podcast? A little to the left.
Hey everybody, welcome back to the It's
Always
Something
Podcast. So let's go. That was unrehearsed. I bet you guys at home couldn't even
No
tell.
way.
That was literally spot on, as always.
Oh yeah.
This week, we are going to talk about one of the classics of all time, Office Space. One of my... Whoa, jeez Louise. I have to say...
every time.
Let's just talk about the year Office Space came out, 1999.
Yeah.
Oh,
Right?
Wow.
dear.
How
Big
many
year.
freaking awesome movies came out in 1999? This is
I'll tell you-
ridiculous, man.
Yeah. Obviously, The
Pretty
Matrix
wild.
came
Matrix, my favorite movie of all
out. Fight
time.
Club.
Fight Club came out in 99?
Yep.
Good Lord. All right, classic.
What else?
10 Things I Hate About You.
I mean,
What?
it was an okay movie. It was.
No, there were some
Can't
actually
hate.
some really good ones. You should look that up.
Movies that came out in '99.
Look it
Oh,
up.
yeah.
Look, Jamie,
Top
pull that up.
box office movies came out in 99 or whatever.
Okay.
There's,
but
what's the other one?
There's some fantastic movies that came out.
we just talked about another
That is
all-time
literally
classic.
the year. I think that year the most it was all the hits.
All the
Wow.
hits.
No single year had that many great movies come out.
Right.
Or I think music
That's
and
crazy.
movies both. I think it was just like the dominating year, the year that everybody remembers who was actually, around in that time.
Yeah.
And lucky for us, we were like seniors in high school in 99. you
Yeah.
know?
We gotta literally now a little history with me and the Vipe here.
Oh,
Back in
Tish.
high school. Yeah. We
The
used,
Mummy?
The Mummy? Brendan
Oh.
Fraser? That's a classic.
That's terrible.
Brendan Fraser's
Who's
great.
this guy? He said,
I hope that's a joke.
Oh. Are you eating
I don't like Brendan Fraser.
Is that
honestly,
is that Clydesdale
okay,
over there?
I shouldn't say that because I don't want to
I like Brendan Fraser.
offend,
I didn't say
offend
anything about
masses. I liked him now. It kind of went from me not liking him
Yeah.
to now I like him. I appreciate him. I think I respect him as an actor. But earlier on, all this what was that? Jungle movie,
Encino
crap
Man.
he did,
Oh,
Encino Man.
terrible.
All of these movies he did, he just plays
Blast
like this,
from the Past.
He played like the dumbest character.
Yeah.
Over
Blast from the
and over
Past is
again.
good. That's a good movie.
I
Alicia
get it,
Silverstone.
You're acting.
That
I
probably
get
came out in
that.
99. I bet that did it come out
What
in
is that?
99? Blast from the Past. Remember?
Oh, I don't
Brendan
know.
Fraser,
Flipping A. I don't know, man.
Alicia Silverstone back when she was
Oh,
Oh, I
yeah.
know what you're talking about. I'm just saying.
It was probably around there.
had to be around there.
He played an idiot so many
Yeah,
times
he
in a
did.
row that I just thought, okay, I know you're acting, but you're genuinely maybe an idiot.
Yeah.
You know? Or I just don't like your character.
Yeah, he almost killed his career.
Well, he did.
Yeah, you did that. Yeah, you did,
Well,
did it too many times.
His issue, it was a little deeper than that. They wanted him to do a little too much, and he hurt his back and stuff, and then he got like heavy.
They wanted him
It
to
is
do too
really-
much, hurt his back, like carrying things around, or
doing stunts and stuff.
Carrying around props.
Oh man, have you ever seen like
we need you
the?
to pull your weight a little bit. We're a little short on money. We need to carry
I'm serious. They made
It's a
him do a
little
bunch
bunch
of
of
crap.
film. Can you pick up that prop over there?
I'm telling you,
my
man.
back.
They made him do a bunch of crap, and he like got hurt on the set, and it jacked up his career. Why do
Are
you
you
think he fell off?
serious?
Oh yeah, he fell off for a while
I thought it
Yeah.
was just bad.
until just recently.
He was in great shape there.
And
so he's-
Tarzan.
I think when people,
He's ripped in
yeah, I
Tarzan.
think when
Yeah.
people get like that, they're like, "Oh, I can do my own stunts." Oh,
Speaking
but
of
they're not
Tarzan,
actually trained.
99.
99.
Tarzan,
See?
there you
Tarzan.
go.
There you go.
He was
Star-
around. Yeah, that was his prime time.
Star Wars Episode 1.
99.
The
Yeah.
Sixth
I remember I
Sense.
skipped school to see
Sixth
it.
Sense.
Austin Powers.
Oh my stars!
Yeah.
Yeah,
All these
And
classics.
yes, The Mummy.
yeah, the Mummy.
The Mummy, see?
Mummy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Blair Witch Project.
Oh,
No, that's
99.
I was asleep. I remember falling
Oh,
asleep
I
in
know.
theaters
I'm
that
doing-
one.
But it was a mark in history.
It was.
Yeah.
particular-
It was. Yeah.
American Pie.
Whoa!
Okay.
Now we're talking. Jason Biggs.
Yeah.
Did you know Blink 182 was in that movie?
Yeah.
in the movie, or
They're in
just
the movie.
soundtrack.
No, both.
I think I do remember
They're
that.
in the movie.
Which one?
They're like, it's a very short clip when it was like, I can't remember what happened, but they're doing like reactions
Which
of
one
like
of them? All of them?
all three. In
Oh,
fact,
Tish, really?
in fact, I'll tell you this: in 1999, they switched drummers from they went to Travis Barker from Scott. I can't remember his last name.
Okay.
Not
Not gonna work here anymore anyway.
But anyways, they switched drummers. But in the credits, he's credited as the old drummer, even though it's the
Oh,
new
really?
drummer. Yep.
Oh, that's funny.
I remember seeing that, and it's
Kinda
like,
sucks.
oh, I knew that.
Wow.
You're wrong. Told you, man. 99 was
it
the year
was
for
the
movies.
year, man.
Mhm.
And some of the, I mean, the
When
top
did 7
ones,
come
though,
out? I don't know why. I've had an itch to watch 7.
I don't know.
Just
but I mean,
earlier
some,
today.
some of those top movies though,
95.
with Matrix and Fight Club and like Boondock Saints came out in
my
'99,
God. Yeah.
and
Yep.
and this one, Office Space.
Office Space.
I mean, that's a lot of great movies.
Yeah.
I mean, think about that happening now in
true.
2024.
All
Oh,
those
no,
thi-
you're
yeah.
right.
Oh.
You're lucky if you see one
You're
good
lucky
movie.
if you find one great movie that's
true.
actually going to last a
You're
lifetime.
lucky to see one good movie, let alone great.
Yeah, it's rare that I want to see a movie I just saw recently in the
Again.
last few years again. Yeah,
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're all joke.
they're all
joke.
bad.
A lot of bad ones.
Yeah, but anyways, we're talking about Office Space,
Yeah,
one of
let's
the
get to it.
best comedies of all time, as far as I'm concerned.
And we got Lumberg with us today.
Yeah.
Yeah, Peter, I'm gonna have to ask you to come in on Saturday.
If you could go ahead and just move a little bit to the left. That's it. Great. Peter, what's happening? Could you give me those TPS reports ASAP? Okay.
Yeah.
You know what that reminds me of? Remember that clip we filmed when we were hanging out with Mason?
Oh, I said my name is
Oh,
Peter Gibson.
Yeah,
there.
yeah.
My name's
It's
Peter.
nerds.
Everybody dressed like nerds and went to
Gibbons.
Denny's.
Yep,
That was so funny.
that's a good time. And then yeah, we all went to Denny's. That's when he did the coffee
Yeah.
one. That's awesome. Oh boy.
Yeah.
Office Space. There's so much to
Oh
like.
man.
Every
What was that
single
one guy's name? Naga, not gonna work here anymore. That's for
It's not that hard to say.
no.
Naga Sar.
No one in this country can ever pronounce my name right. It's not that hard, David. Najad.
Oh man, I can't. I try to
Michael.
remember
We
it.
had Michael Bolton,
Michael Bolton.
or just Mike, as
Just-
you might want
just
to be
Mike?
called nowadays.
Michael Bolton?
That's me.
Wow, is that your real name?
Yeah.
So are you related to that singer guy?
No, it's just a coincidence.
Oh.
You could just call me Mike.
Why don't you just go by Mike instead of Michael?
No way. Why should I change? He's the one who sucked.
I don't know. I just like them all. I agree. I celebrate the whole catalog.
You know what, guys? You guys can just call me Mike.
You are Michael Bolton?
Yeah.
Is that your real name? Are you any relation to the pop singer?
No, it's just a coincidence.
I'll be honest with you. I love his music. I do. I'm a Michael Bolton fan.
But you must really love his music, huh?
Yeah, he's pretty good, I guess.
You're goddamn right he is.
Right.
So tell me, what's your favorite song of his?
I guess I sort of like them all.
That's so Ryan. I'm the exact same way, but it must be twice as hard for you being have the same name as him. I celebrate the guy's entire catalog. Anyway, let's get down to business, Michael.
You know, you can just call me Mike.
The looks on their faces.
They got so mad.
know.
Scene after scene were so good. It's
My
just
favorite
like, it told
part,
so
I think my
much.
favorite part in the movie, I just realized this today when we watched it, because I remember he got like upset when he said, because he's like, let's talk about Peter Gibbons. And they're like, yeah, all right. He's got upper management written all over him. And he's like, Lumber goes, yeah, I'm going to have to go ahead and disagree with you on that. Yeah, it's...
That's just a straight shooter with upper management written all over him.
Ooh, yeah. I'm gonna have to go ahead and sort of disagree with you there. Yeah, he's been real flaky lately. And I'm just not sure that he's the caliber person that we would want for upper management.
And you could see,
Yeah,
like the what's his name? The guy from...
He was like,
Yeah, he's literally getting visibly like...
yeah, he's like,
And like
Hold
then
up.
when he kept saying like it's just not working out with him, you can see like, it cuts back to him and his jaw's like he's
played
like
that-
quiver like
yeah, they played that really
he's so
well.
mad.
I'll have this here. We feel that the problem isn't with Peter. It's that you haven't challenged him enough to get him really motivated.
There it is.
Yeah. Well, I'm just not sure about that right now.
Yeah, Bill, let me ask you a real quick question here. How much time would you say you spend each week dealing with these TPS reports?
Yeah.
Those bobs were so good.
Both the bobs are great.
Really good.
That's the thing I like about this movie. There is not every single character in it
fantastic.
outstanding. Even the waiter we're talking about earlier, like
Brian.
small tiny part. Like he has literally 2 clips, 2 lines in the movie, and where he's like, "Oh, welcome here, welcome to Chotskis."
So can I get you gentlemen something more to drink, or maybe something to nibble on? Some pizza shooters, shrimp poppers, or extreme fajitas?
And then it's just,
or when he sees him later at the coffee. It's just so funny.
Get a room, you two.
Get a room, you two.
I hate that guy.
both awesome scenes. Like
It's
such a
written
small
so well.
part.
Yeah.
But man, everyone just knocked it out of the flipping ballpark. It's amazing when you get a movie like that where we've talked about many movies like recently where there's always one actor or it's always a side character that just doesn't really pull their weight. You know, it's like it's even though it's a forgettable part, you know, it's no big deal, but they just kind of don't bring anything. In this movie, it's the exact opposite. Every single character in the movie brings something. You know, everyone's unique. Like, name one character that's bad. There's so many different characters in the movie that have such a small part.
I liked all the characters. I did notice that at this time when I watched it, the neighbor, I can't remember his name, the actor's name, but for some reason this time I noticed that I thought his acting wasn't very good.
Really?
Yeah. I liked his character a lot, but I just thought
the guy that kind of reminds me of Frasier. He always reminds me of Frasier a little bit. That guy.
The neighbor?
Yeah.
His neighbor that talks to him?
Okay,
The
forget
construction
it.
guy? Frasier?
Yeah, he reminds me of Frasier, but anyway.
Really?
It's something about him.
Is there a joke in this?
No, absolutely not.
Okay.
Because he's from
I thought you guys
he's from
were
the
like, oh, I see it too.
No. No, he was popular
Cut that out of this.
He was popular from the Drew Carey show.
Yeah. No, I know who he is.
Yeah.
I'm just
Well, he got real popular from doing being Jethro on the movie.
Beverly Hillbillies?
Yeah.
Yeah, but before that, he was popular from the Drew Carey show.
Supposedly, that almost ruined his career because that was all he.
Of course. Yeah. But I mean, I disagree.
I think I didn't really see it because like there's even a part where he's like
Diedrich Bader.
Diedrich Bader, yeah.
Yeah.
I knew it was like a very original name.
Yeah.
You just don't hear that.
Yeah.
He was in flipping Napoleon Dynamite.
Yeah.
He's the kung fu instructor.
Yeah. Awesome in that movie.
Yep.
Yeah. But yeah,
Very good.
I thought he was great in this. I disagree. I mean, we can disagree. It's fine. It's fine.
Yeah, I think it was
but
pretty
like
good
the
in
part
movie,
where he gets
but I feel like I know what you're talking about though.
Yeah.
Even when they're talking, like I feel like the accent he was trying to pull off, sometimes it would slip a little bit.
Yeah.
And
Being
he
country.
would try to come in strong, and you could tell it was pushed.
he just didn't hang out enough in Texas, you know, because this was filmed in Austin, where we're at.
That's right.
We're actually looking up all the the houses and stuff they filmed at.
Yep.
Like, they said they filmed on Mopac and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, not Mopac.
I said that. I was a misquote.
Oh, it was a misquote.
Yeah, some pretty cool spots. If you're familiar with Austin, like the opening scene where they're driving in traffic is filmed on Breaker Lane between Domain Drive and Burner Road.
I'm always there when I'm working.
Which is crazy because it looks totally different now.
I knew that place. I'd see that building every single where Initech is, and I'd be like, man, it seems to me. I never put two and two together.
Yeah, where
That's
Initech
funny.
is on it's 4120 Friedrich Lane, which is southeast of 71 and I-35.
Mhm.
It's like a little business district back there.
Yeah, but everything was filmed here in Austin,
Yeah.
which is awesome.
Pretty cool.
Yeah.
We should have bought one of the houses if they ever went for sale. I mean, now it's a little out of at least out of my price range. They're
Yeah.
a little
It did have
expensive
a
these
lot
days.
of, like we were talking about, a lot of unique characters. I mean,
Everyone's
everybody
great.
from that lady with the sound like a bird.
What'd she say? I tried to remember what she's saying. She's like,
Okay, welcome. I don't know. I just
please. She'd say,
Yeah.
she'd say like, She's like,
I don't know what the heck she's
something
saying.
like,
Thank you for calling.
Yeah. Thank you for calling. One moment, please.
Yeah.
Thank you for calling. One moment, please.
Man,
Thank you for
it
calling.
was
And then
so
it's
wild.
such a sharp voice that you hear it in the background, even like
The whole
minutes
time.
later.
Yeah.
You just hear it in the background. It's like, man.
Yeah, I love that they kept that.
Oh, it's
kept
great.
that in the background.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it's good. And they must have had it on some like player.
I wonder if she's
playing
actually
it.
saying it.
No,
That'd be
no,
funny.
no.
That'd be funny if
It
she's
was
actually doing it in the
such a
background.
perfect repeat every time.
Corporate accounts payable, Nina speaking. Just a moment. Corporate accounts payable, Nina speaking. Just a moment. Corporate accounts payable, Nina speaking. Just a moment. Corporate accounts payable, Nina speaking.
Was
Yeah,
she
it
the
was
same
good.
one with the cake that was passing
Yeah,
the cake?
yep.
That was
The redhead,
talking
I
to
think.
Milton
Yeah.
about passing the cake on.
It was a redhead.
I didn't
It was
last
her.
time. I didn't get a piece of cake, and I'm
The
just gonna
ratio
the
of
ratio of
people
cake
to
to pea. I'm gonna burn this place down.
His character was
This is the
amazing.
final straw.
Exactly, Milton. Even like such a small character,
he's so
but
unique.
so unique. He literally invented the red swing line stapler.
Oh, he did. I mean, there's so many things, and Tom was really good as this weird older guy. He clearly been in the industry for a long
Jump to conclusions.
time.
That's one thing
Yeah.
I noticed is I remember all of his lines are so memorable to me, so memorable, and he was barely in the movie.
Yeah.
I didn't
he
realize how
wasn't in that
little of a
much.
part he played, but all of his lines we quoted through the years. Like, well, I guess I'll see you tomorrow if I still have a job. We've said that so many
Oh,
times.
yeah,
you know?
over the years.
Oh, I
Totally.
had a great idea once. It was. It was a mat.
All right. What is it?
Well, it's a mat with a bunch of conclusions you could jump to. A jump to conclusions mat.
It's so funny how all the guys are like, "It's the worst idea," and he doesn't even try to defend it. He's
No, it's just like
"I'll see you guys tomorrow."
You can see his heart kind of breaks.
Yeah.
He's like, "Well, I'll see you guys tomorrow. If I still have a job."
And it didn't stop him from making it. I mean, he still continued with his.
Oh, he
you
just kept
know.
going, and then he made
yeah.
it.
Yeah,
you know?
he made the prototype.
Yep.
He would have probably made it. He probably would have pushed it into.
Let's talk about
every great movie has to have a memorable, like outstanding villain, someone that makes you hate them, right?
Oh yeah.
Let's talk about Lumbergh.
because Lumbergh is probably one of the greatest comedy villains of all time.
Yeah. Played
He
by
is-
Gary Cole.
He is so everyone knows. Yeah,
Yeah,
Peter.
you do that. You tell anybody that they know what you're talking
Exactly.
about. He played it so good. I
So
mean,
well.
Which
it was-
tells you that it was how good his character was written. I mean,
Oh,
Right,
that's what I'm
right.
saying. How
So
good is
good.
written
Yeah.
and how well is acted.
and they kept repeating the same thing over and over,
Yeah.
which makes it memorable.
Right.
You know, he kept doing the same thing. How many times did
Every
he do
single
that?
time.
Yeah, he did it so many times in the movie.
which I'm sure that relates to so many people.
Oh,
in
yeah.
office space settings.
Yeah.
Yep.
What you have that one manager who's just super annoying, keeps repeating the same same things, and
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we're gonna need you to come in on. Oh, we're also gonna need you to come in on Sunday.
It's that voice. Yeah, it's just that
This is-
condescending.
This isn't a half day.
Yeah.
You're still coming in.
that condescending. I'm better than you. Like
Yeah.
just like I have so much
Never
more power
says
than
thank
you.
you or anything. Just
No,
is
yeah,
like,
just a total
"Yeah, we're gonna
a-hole.
need you to come in tomorrow. Okay.
Okay,
Yeah.
and just walks away.
Yeah.
And and of course, if you're gonna have the worst villain, you have to have the best hero. And I think that's what everyone loves about this movie is like Peter, the main character,
Yeah.
Peter Gibbons, lives literally like everyone's dream of just not
That's
giving
just
a
it.
flip anymore.
It relates to so many people. Or so
Not-
many people can relate to him.
Right.
You know?
And not only does he not care anymore, he starts failing upwards. He just doesn't care, and now everyone loves him. Like
It's just like it just works. Like everything starts.
It's almost like crazy people. Actually, truth. He started speaking just
Truth in advertising,
truth,
yep.
and all of a
Truth in
sudden
life.
it started
Right.
not working for him.
Yep.
People started connecting with it.
He went to go get the hot chick. He's like,
yeah.
He's like, hey, like, do you want to go to lunch? And I'll just be next door if you want to come over.
I mean, really, yeah, it does really.
It's a carefree way of living, and
yeah, it really does go to the push the idea that sometimes just being honest and just not overthinking everything.
Right.
Exactly.
It's just not caring as much.
Yeah.
It's not that you don't care. It's just wait, was it? It's not that I don't care.
No, that's what, no. It's not that I'm lazy. It's that I just, don't care.
That's what- yeah. It's not that I'm lazy. It's that I just don't care.
Don't care? See, it's a problem of motivation.
Oh man.
So good.
Yeah, but so he starts obviously like
feeling upwards. He gets promoted while not caring. He starts going in late, not giving a crap about work. Meanwhile, his two friends, also like Michael Bolton and Samir Nagas.
I have no idea.
They're both the hardworking ones, and they get canned.
Yeah.
You know, it's just I don't know. Funny. It's funny how that works out. I think
funny,
that's
even,
so well written.
Even on IMDb, it doesn't even say his last name. It
Really?
Just says Samir.
It's funny because he says it. I tried to make a mental note to remember it for this point. And I remember he says it's not that hard. He goes, it's not that hard to remember. It's Samir Nagasa.
I feel like that's the only time it's actually said in full.
Yeah.
At one time when he said it himself.
But I wish I would have remembered it. But oh well.
Naga Adeiju. It's something like
it's something like that.
Yeah.
It's not that hard, David.
Yeah, that's funny.
Not going to work anymore anyways.
But you know what's crazy, though, really? And as crazy as you're watching it, you're going, I would never say that to my boss. I would never do that at work. And it seems crazy to watch the bosses, or the Bobs,
just react,
listen to it, and go, yeah.
Right. They're impressed by it.
And they're impressed by it.
Yeah.
But really, in reality, a good boss, that's exactly what they want to hear.
Right. They want the truth.
They want the truth because they can fix the truth.
A good boss does want
a
that.
good boss.
Right.
But the problem is most people that raise up in the ranks are just a-holes. And
Right.
They're looking out for number one.
Yeah.
It is what it is. Speaking of, do you guys have any, because Peter Gibbons just gives up on it. He doesn't give up, he just doesn't care anymore. Do you have any work stories where you just kind of quit? Like you just didn't give a flip about any of your jobs anymore?
It's funny, I was just telling the story today to the barista. I've only worked one corporate job in my entire life. And it was when I delivered papers when I was a little kid.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And I did not care about that job. Like, I would just take my time. They were supposed to be delivered by...
I, too, was a paper boy.
By whatever time, 4 o'clock. As soon as I got off work or got out of school,
Right.
I was supposed to be out there.
Yep.
Well, I would just wait till 6, 7, 8 o'clock at night. And by that time, the news is old. Well, after repeated warnings, one night I didn't care. One night I was out there throwing my papers, my bike. All of a sudden I hear this car fly up and squeal their tires and stop. And this guy, my boss, jumped out of the car. He was like this fire red-headed, stocky guy. And he's jumped out of the car and he's yelled at me, "What are you doing? Why are you out here this late? You're fired." He fired me as a little kid.
Whoa.
And I was just like, okay.
Oh, wow.
I have a very similar story when it comes to newspapers. That's funny because I quit in the very same manner. Like between the Lloyds and the Lowe's, we're not known to be extremely punctual, right?
No.
And my thing is...
Pretty accurate.
My thing is, I try to be... I hate being late. But when it comes to work and stuff, especially jobs I don't care about anymore, when I was a paper boy, it would, like you said, is you get off school and you have to go home and deliver papers right away. Like right away. They're like within the hour. And so you have to go home and roll them and all this crap. They give you a stack, you have to roll them up, put them in anything, and stuff. So I was the same way.
If it's raining, you had to put them in the
little red plastic things.
Yeah.
So I remember I just got tired of doing it. I didn't know how to quit. I liked getting money.
Exactly.
But they kept paying me, but I just
$20 a month or whatever. Stupid
and tips plus $2
Yeah.
plus tip, and then you had to collect for them.
Yeah.
That's another thing.
Oh, I remember that.
That's a real thing.
Go door to door and collecting money.
I've always felt so crappy about it.
How do you send a kid out to collect money?
Think about nowadays?
What?
It's crazy.
But yeah, the way I quit was the same. I just kind of stopped doing it, and they kept delivering, like dropping off papers, and then I was just like, I'm not really interested in doing that anymore, you know.
Yeah.
And so one day, like, it must have been like 3 days because I didn't know where I was a kid. I was like 12, 13, something like that. I didn't know how to quit. So one day, a guy just shows up. He's like, "Why are all these papers here?" I was like, "I just quit." He's like, "Well, you got to deliver these." You know, it's like I think it's a Saturday or something. He's like, "Well, you got to deliver them. It's a Saturday. They got to get out before like 6 a.m." And it's like, "No, I'm not really interested." And like he's getting mad at me.
Oh, yeah.
And then my parents came out. They're like, "No, he's done. He quits." And so, but he was trying to get mad at me. You know, I was getting scared.
Yeah,
I was
yeah.
like,
They're trying to teach you a lesson.
Yeah.
It's like you said, I don't know what to do.
Yeah, what do you expect
Yeah,
from a
it's
kid?
your first job.
I
you're
remember my
young.
mom came out. She's like, "He quits. Get off my property."
Yeah, typical mom. Yeah,
Of course.
Oh man, moms are the best, aren't they?
But we used to. You probably did this too. I always sometimes would always end up with like 10 or 15 papers
Extras?
left over.
Oh yeah, I always had extras.
And I
Always.
leave them at the last house.
I remember specifically dumping them at the last house, like a bag of them.
running. Like you're never coming back. And then the next day.
Yeah, the next day. But that was the advertiser because you didn't have to collect from them. If you had to collect money from them,
Oh
it'd be a
yeah, that's
different
right.
story.
Yeah.
But
What about you, Vibe? Did you ever quit a job?
oh yeah. So I mean, see, in advertiser or not an advertiser, I think it was I don't know, one of those that you had to pay for.
I have another one too. After this one.
After you had the ones you had to pay for. I remember delivering those and getting like you had to collect. We lived in like this. I don't know. There were some ghetto areas,
It was
right?
ghetto.
And I remember I had to deliver on Galilee and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
And that's some sketchy. I
Oh,
mean,
yeah.
there's shootings there like every day.
Yeah.
I mean, I'd have to go over there and be like, you owe me some money, whatever.
Johnny.
4 weeks. 20 papers, that's $2 plus tip.
Gee, Johnny, I don't have a dime. Sorry.
And
Hey, you're carrying around
it's dangerous.
You're literally carrying around a thing full of money.
I remember people would leave
That's true.
Sometimes people would leave me like a little bag of like a quarter.
Didn't ask for a dime. $2.
Or like
Little tip.
weird things. It's just like, to me, it almost sounds like what my parents would tell me. Like, oh, have you ever had? They give me a nickel, I go buy some candy. That sounds like my childhood because I had like a quarter and I'd go to the Salem after and buy
Right,
some
buy candy bar.
little corner store and I'd buy some candy. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's exactly what I would do, but it's just like a little bit more money.
I'll tell you what I used
Same
to
thing
use.
though.
Charleston Chews, man, that's my thing when I was. a
Oh,
little
I
kid.
used to love those when I was a kid.
What was your favorite flavor? Chocolate, right?
No,
They have different
classic.
flavors.
Classic.
Yeah.
There's classic strawberry and chocolate. I
No
was- I
flavors.
was never into that.
I never even tried the flavors. Anyway,
Oh,
yeah, what were you gonna say?
Even better.
Oh.
I used to work at Rook's
Oh yeah.
when I was a kid. Rook's is it was like a mom and pop restaurant.
Yeah.
And I think I was probably 15 or something. And I still to this day don't know what I was thinking, but one morning, Saturday morning, I was supposed to go in and I think I was cooking or something at the time. And I was tired, probably stayed up too late the night before. So I remember getting up and calling work and telling them I wasn't coming in. And they said, why? I said, I'm too tired. I'm too tired to come in. And they were just like, okay. And it never got scheduled again. And they never just fired me outright. And I remember my dad asking me,
Yeah.
you know, what happened? Why aren't you working at Rook's? I said, I don't know. I just quit scheduling me. I told him I was too tired. You told him what?
Yeah.
That's funny.
Like why? I guess I was just so honest as a kid. Like I just never thought, oh, you should just lie to
I'm
them.
sick.
I'm sick or
You
something.
make up a story. Yeah.
Yeah.
You don't have to. Yeah, it's your first. You're not used to doing that.
So
but
stupid.
When I worked at a grocery store, Jewel.
Oh yeah.
You know.
Oh yeah, I
And-
could do. Yeah.
That
We
was
both
the
worked at Jewel.
closest to this movie that ever happened to me, and I actually recorded it on our answering machine. I hit record, and I recorded this whole thing happen. I wish I still had it to this day.
I think you actually showed me that once.
I'm sure I did.
Way back when.
But
Man, that's
I called in sick, and I knew it was going to happen because these people, my boss was a total a-hole, and I called in sick, and I said, "Hey, I'm not going to be able to come in today." Now, obviously, was I sick? Well, probably not. I mean, I was, you know.
I just want it off.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. The bottom line is it doesn't matter. And so I called in sick, and he was like, "Oh, well, we need you in here today." I said, "Well, I'm not going to be there. I'm sick." And he's like, "Well, you know, when you come in tomorrow, I need to talk to you." I said, "Well, I'm not going to be there tomorrow either." And then he was like, "What are you talking about?" I said, I don't think I'm ever going to come again." And then he was like, "Are you quitting?" He's like, "Well, I'm going to need you to come in and sign some paperwork." I said, "Well, I'm not doing that either." I said, "I'm never coming in there again."
Oh, man.
And he's like, you have to sign this, you know, quit that you're quitting." I said, "Well, I'm not, so bye." You know?
Man, I quit Jewel in a very similar fashion, and I wasn't even going to. I remember back in high
Which
school
one did you
days.
work at?
Zion, yeah. So I went in and I told them a week before, because I was still in school. And I said I need to have Friday off because I have a school project and I'm doing with now. if you know about me in school, I tried my best not to go because I hated school. But there was this babe in my class. Okay, it's a true story.
This is a babe.
Shannon.
I was gonna say, is her initials SG?
Yeah, sure is. Shannon, if you're out there and you remember me, hey. Anyways,
what's her last name?
Brandon.
Oh, that's right.
We're allowed to say that now. Who cares?
Yeah, who cares?
She's probably not. She's probably married Shannon Johnson now or something.
Yeah.
Who knows? Anyways, I thought she was the hottest girl in the world, so I would keep going to school only because she was in a bunch of my, like 3 of my classes.
Yeah.
So,
Wow,
so we had an art project together, and we had to, it was like 4 people, and we had to draw something together. And
was it kind of like Titanic, sort of like?
It was very similar, yeah. It was very similar, but
okay.
Anyways,
yeah.
So, anyways, I told my manager. I remember it's some older chick. I said, I need to have Friday off, and she's like, okay, well, we'll figure it out Friday. I was like, okay. So Friday comes around, and I go into work, and because I told them I had to have a half day, that's what I said. And I walk into work, and I'm like, just so you know, I have to leave by 4 or 5 or whatever the time is. It's like right after school. I was only going to work for like an hour or two. Don't even know why I came in. I should have just called in. Apparently, this guy is the best method of just telling me not going to be there anymore. But so I remember I said, well, I got to be out of here by like 4:30 at the latest. I got to be somewhere by 5 for a school project. And she's like, well, Tammy called in, so you have to stay here till at least 6:30. And I was like, no, I don't. And I was like, at this point, I hated the job anyways. It's so stupid, man. It was one of the worst jobs I've ever had. I remember I had to scan things. I used to scan things as fast as I could just to get out of the monotony of scanning crap and stuff. And it's terrible. I feel bad for cashiers.
You're a cashier?
Yeah, as a cashier. Wow. Anyways, so they're like, yeah, you can't leave at 6. You have to stay here till at least 6:30, maybe 7. And I was like, no, I'm leaving. And they're like, well, if you leave, we're gonna write you up because you're scheduled. And I said, well, I took the time on Monday to be off, but I told you I need to be off. I have a school project.
Well, look, I already told you. I deal with the goddamn customers so the engineers don't have to. I have people skills. I am good at dealing with people. Can't you understand that? What the hell is wrong with you people?
Now, any other time for a school project, like I said, I would have just...
Yeah, heck with it.
But man, this is a hot babe. I'm going to her house.
Oh, yeah.
Tish.
To draw.
Come on.
Literally, like a
you gotta
perfect
draw
situation.
like a French girl. I mean, you gotta draw.
Man, I seriously was practicing. I was getting my art down and stuff. I kept sending her like photos.
Using your charcoal pencils and
yeah. But anyways, long story short, they said, no, you have to be here. And I was like, well, I quit. And they're like, you can't quit. They're like shocked that because they're like, well, we're gonna have to write you up and think I was gonna get. Oh, I'm scared to get in trouble or something. I was like, I don't give a crap. I was like, I'm tired of this place anyways. I quit.
Yeah.
I was like, well, think about it. Well, we'll let you go off now, but think about it. Tomorrow you're gonna have repercussions and stuff, and it's tough. And I was like, no, I'm just tired of your crap. I was like, whatever. They're like, well, if you're gonna quit, you have to sign this paper. I was like, show me. I'll sign it. I don't give a shit. I was like, I'm done. I hate you guys. That's my last day at Jewel.
See, I didn't know why they wanted people to sign paper.
That's because of union crap.
If you sign,
they wouldn't pay you.
That is proof that you quit.
Right.
Yeah, and if you quit, you can't get unemployment.
Right.
But if you just don't show up again, you might be able to say they fired me because you never signed that you quit or something like that.
I didn't put a lot of thought into it, obviously.
Oh, I didn't know that
I hated
either.
the place. I didn't know anything.
Young people, I mean, I was like, why would I come in and sign paperwork? I'm done.
All places, Jewel
or
was a
what?
fucking union job. So my union rep calls me. He's like, did they pressure you to quit? And I was like, yeah, kind of. I think I actually did get unemployment from that. My union rep started like doing all this crap for me. I was like, I don't even care. But anyways, long story short, flip Jewel.
It's funny.
Speaking of movies and jobs and getting tish canned, my first job ever, I was 15 years old. I worked at a video store. People's Choice.
Video Express. Oh. Yes, sir.
And I realized it was actually a lot like Tchotchkes because there was this kid there. His name was Omar. And the guy was the weirdo boss, the owner. Remember him? The owner? He was like...
Vaguely.
He opened that People's Choice and the one in Waukegan and stuff. Anyway.
I knew the guy in the harbor.
Anyway, he hired me and I was like, I love movies, right? Anyway, but I'm shy. I was very shy.
Oh, I was super shy.
And anyway, so I wasn't like all hyped up and like approaching everybody in the store.
Well, how
talking about
many
movies.
articles of flair did you have?
Oh, Tishcan.
Tishcan.
I got dish canned. Anyway, not enough, obviously.
Probably only had 15.
I must have had 15 or less, or maybe less, because the guy said to me, and I'm not kidding you about this. I mean, customers would come up, I'd check them out, whatever. It was very pleasant. I was a super nice person, obviously, you know. But
jury's still out on that
he
one.
He would come up and he'd be like, you know, basically. He like, why are I need you to be more like Omar there.
No,
I'm not
that's
kidding.
the word.
He would be like, I need you to be, he's a lot more like high energy, stuff, and I'm like, okay, what the heck are you talking about,
Yeah.
And then he ended up tish canning me.
Wow.
Whoa,
really?
Because of that reason. He
wow.
Dang.
He tish canned me because I was not like high energy like his Omar buddy.
How crazy.
That's
Now,
nuts.
I was friends with Omar though. He was a good guy.
Yeah.
And he was
Yeah, it's not his
literally.
fault.
No.
And he had
He
a
was,
lot of.
he was a good guy, and actually, I'm not going to go into it, but
Yeah, let's not.
he died like that year or something. He got in a car accident, but
Oh.
that doesn't matter. So
That
he was
just
actually a
goes to show
super good
you.
guy, but anyway, that job though was to show you what. Anyway, but. Yeah, I mean, I got tish canned for not having basically enough flair, enough
pizzazz.
That was my first job ever, and I was like, man, what the heck? I don't get it because I was like,
Yeah.
I was doing my job. Customers were super friendly. I was happy with I was like, but I wasn't like going over the top the way that the guy had envisioned that position being, and I was like, okay, well that's not for me, unfortunately.
Yeah.
I love movies though. I ended up watching a
Ton of movies,
crap load of movies while I was there.
Yeah.
A ton of screeners and stuff.
Yep.
Anyway, back to the movie.
Yeah. Long story short, I did get. One time I got fired from Six Flags for.
Oh yeah, that's
So
a
I-
good one.
I have two different stories from Six Flags.
I'm sure.
I quit twice. One time they told me I had to shave because at Six Flags you had to be super dressed down and stuff, and so I was just like tired of it, and I was like, the first time I ever quit Six Flags. I just
Shave.
Quit. Oh, you had to have
What is
clean
this?
shaven.
What is this? An office?
This was like into the 90s, man. It's like the
What is this?
2000s.
Wall Street
You had
or
to be-
something?
You couldn't
Come
have
on.
any facial hair at all.
Yeah, it was pretty
Oh
strict
wow.
So I went
Wow.
in. My one manager really liked me. Apparently, this is how I kept, because my first year there, I just got tired of going, man. I ran the games departments. Well, I didn't run it. I was in the games department, so I took the money for games and stuff. I let people win all the time. No big deal. Let's not talk about that. But anyways, so one day I got tired of it. And I
Shannon
quit.
Granitypes.
Oh well.
You should have taken a fraction of a cent each time.
Oh man, that's smart thinking. We're not gonna get into that. I know it's kind of similar, but yeah. I'm not gonna get into that. So one time I just quit.
Yeah.
Just stopped showing up, and they're like, "Well, if you don't put in your 2 weeks, we're not gonna ever rehire you." And I was like, "I don't give a crap." So I just quit on the spot.
Yeah.
Walked out. Last day there, I was like, "I'll never play and be of this crap hole again."
If you quit and leave
Right.
suddenly, you're not going to get rehired.
Right. Well, that's what you'd think.
I know, right?
However, in this particular case, so it was like 3 months later, and Fright Fest came along where they had to rehire and everyone went to school and
They
stuff.
needed workers.
They needed workers, and they at this time I took 3 months off and I was broke again. Of course, being 18 years old or whatever, and they called me up out of the blue. They're like, "Hey, were you wanting to come back to work?" And I was like, "Actually, sure, why not?" So I finished off.
Man.
Then from there, I jumped into like being in the warehouse.
Yeah.
And I actually worked there for 8 years after that. And
Wow.
It was one of the best jobs I've ever had.
Yeah, that's
I
cool.
love that place.
That's
awesome.
It was great. Then I eventually became a supervisor of the whole warehouse. Like, that was awesome.
I
That was
remember
great.
our grandpa was. He worked on the rides. Was
Yeah.
like one of the
Didn't your dad build the
as a
Eagle?
mechanic or something on the.
I thought your dad built the
fixing the
Eagle.
rides.
Yeah, he helped build the Eagle.
Yeah.
That's some Americana history.
We all have
right there.
ties to
Six Flags.
Six Flags.
Everyone in that area, for sure.
Yeah.
You're from
Yeah.
Gurney, Illinois. Like anywhere around that,
Yeah.
like within 30 miles.
Yeah.
We all worked in the Gurney
Sure.
area.
Anyways, this show is about Office Space.
Yeah. Let's get back to Office Space.
Great movie.
Yeah.
Every single character
But
was
clearly,
to me was great.
we could relate to Peter,
Oh, everyone.
We could relate
everyone
to Peter,
What a hero.
hating
Yeah.
his job, saying what you wish you could say to your boss, or
Right.
like saying,
Now it was interesting to me. Just jump back into the movie about like the whole like what's it called? Like the trivial thing that happens that makes everyone
yeah.
where they started stealing from Initech.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought that was kind of out of character for him. Like
To make that decision to start stealing?
For all of them, all 3 characters.
Well, it was a great.
I get why.
It's stealing.
Right.
It's stealing.
It's supposed to be a gray area.
Yeah, it's kind of like
no
a gray area.
money.
They're like, is this right or wrong? It's kind of just fractionals of a sense, but it'll end up paying out, and this is a bad company, so they saw, like, it could be, it's not bad if it's a bad company and we're making just fractions of a penny over a long period of time, but...
Well, they also spun it to where it made it seem like...
They weren't stealing.
Nobody was getting the money.
Yeah, no one got screwed.
And they kind of acted like...
Well, the computer rounds down.
Yeah,
you know?
well, normally nobody's going to get this money, but we're going to get this money.
That's true, yeah. The computer normally rounds and nobody, just nobody gets it.
So that was the big thing. We didn't even talk about the synopsis, but if you haven't seen The Office Space, come on. I mean, if you haven't seen it...
We're not talking about it at this point.
We're not getting into that. But I do have a question for you guys.
What?
Hear me out.
Quiz me.
I'm listening.
Here's a quiz for you.
I got a quiz for you.
Not really a quiz.
What's the girl's name? Is Shotchki.
Joanna.
Okay, never mind.
Pop quiz, hotshot.
Yeah.
What would you do, Squash?
Yeah?
If you had $1 million... Someone gave you $1 million, what would you do?
Here we go. He wants you to say what the guy said.
Well, you don't have to know. I'm serious. This is a real question.
This is a real question?
Real question. If someone gave you $1 million, what would you do?
2 chicks at the same time, man.
Oh, come on. What would you do?
That's just...
I don't know.
I feel like back in the day, like, we'll say in the 80s, that was probably a question where it may actually have some significance, but... Nowadays, $1 million isn't that much money.
Honestly, what I would do, I would have another home built, my forever home, buy a property, have a home built, and then sell.
For a job, though.
Oh, for my job. What?
Yeah, because that's the whole rhetorical question.
Yeah, they don't want you to
have to care about money.
They don't want you to say, I would invest it. That's not the point.
That's not what he said to Samir.
Yeah.
Samir started thinking smart. You know?
Yeah, because
no, that's not the point. The point is, what would you do if money wasn't an option, but you still had to work?
You still had to work, but what would you do if,
Well, I'd be a podcaster for sure.
If money was not an issue.
Gotcha.
I'd be a streamer, a podcaster, or a musician. That's my answer. One of those 3.
You just worked for fun.
I just want to I want to be paid to have fun. How great would that be? You know? If flipping Shiner, Texas brand here, sponsored the podcast, just gave us cases of beer and just boatloads of money, you know, just to be like, Shiner. The peach wheat seasonal, you know?
Yeah.
Oh,
you're,
so
you're
refreshing.
that's
hard to
far
answer.
off because that sounds great to be like, just watch movies, talk about movies.
Right.
And
everything becomes
meanwhile,
a job.
you're rich. Yeah.
To me, everything becomes a job. I've done things that I thought were hobbies, and they became jobs, and I ended up not liking them.
And I've done things that I regret.
Maybe there is something that I could do that I would love and never feel like it was a job. I just can't imagine what that would be.
Yeah, if you had endless amounts of money and you just, how would you spend your time beyond just sitting at the resorts and beaches?
Right.
But like, would you try to make some independent movies? You know what I mean? Would you try to like?
No, late so
do a podcast.
I asked for it.
Yeah, I don't know. It's who knows?
So is that what your answer is? Nothing? Something? So Peter was the...
Do you know what you would do?
Yeah, what would you do? If I just had
I don't know.
Right now, here's $1 million. Do what you want to do for work. You have to work, though.
Yeah, like I said, I don't know.
You're kind of already doing your own thing anyways, you know?
Yeah, but he works his butt off. I bet that's not what he would...
Yeah, right. Seriously.
You should hire just a bunch of hot secretaries.
And $1 million, like I said, is not...
It's not like a life.
It's just not enough.
I mean, it is.
If somebody said $10 million, I think nowadays you'd almost have to get the same type of feeling and answer. You'd almost have to say like $10 million.
That's Bidenomics.
Because then you feel like, okay, I'm not going to run out like right away.
Right.
Yeah.
By doing anything major. So anyway.
Thanks, Biden.
Moving on. So I don't know, but I don't know right now, but send me $10 million and I'll let you know.
Would you get a Cybertruck? I'm
sure I'd have a garage space for. I might as well put a Cybertruck in there along with the others.
How dare you?
Because I got to have the car from Better Off Dead, the Camaro.
Oh yeah. Do you remember what year it was?
There's so many other cars that I would get before ever a Cybertruck.
Yeah.
Unless you're just a big Cybertruck.
You weren't there for it though, man. You should have came over when we had it. It was fun. I liked it.
I just think they're ugly. This is my opinion.
You're allowed to have it, even if it's wrong.
It's a lot like the DeLorean. The DeLorean.
Yeah.
Most people think that's ugly.
True.
And,
That's a funny story because even back in the day, DeLoreans were kind of a joke.
Oh, they were.
Yeah, no one thought they were great.
They were
The only reason they got popular is because Back to the Future.
That's true.
Right.
And they were unique in being stainless steel. And the gull-wing doors. That was dope.
Yeah, the gull-wing doors was killer.
Yeah. Now let's get back to the movie.
Well, I got a little quiz for trivia for you.
Okay, yeah, let's get it. Let's get into it.
All right, so we all know where they worked at Initech, right?
Yeah.
What was Initech?
Well, I know what Peter's job was. Initech had to be a software company, a banking company, or software? Banking. It had to be banking because Peter's job was to. Do you know what Peter's job was? That'll be my question. I'll hold off on that.
Oh my gosh. Well, he was his job was to update all the software.
Exactly,
so,
the banking software
in 2000,
because it was 2000.
Yeah.
Right, exactly. So you know that.
I feel like that was his current job, but his
current job.
Yeah,
his
I feel
current
like
task.
his current task. Yeah.
Since the virus they made for it was taking fractions of cents out of accounts, I feel it had to be just something with banking.
Okay, Caleb. Do you know?
I don't know the exact role of the company.
They were a credit union.
I was gonna say I know that they have. I know they have. I know they have.
Was it like a?
I did see a Initech credit union thing, and I know they have on the.
Yeah, when he went to the ATM, it says Initech Credit Union.
But I still don't. But I didn't connect. I thought because I was thinking about like credit union, but they all seem like they're, I don't know,
software
programmers,
engineers, yeah.
software engineers. Like why would I figured maybe they just must have their own ATM or something because you know or whatever. But I didn't think that they were a credit union. But I did see that on the ATM.
Yeah. I did notice, I never put two and two together because I remember when he used the ATM to see his account.
Yeah, it said
Do you know
Initech
how much money he had in his account?
386,000.
This guy's good.
Something like that.
He's paying attention. All right. All right. Did you have one?
No.
It seemed like you had a question burning.
Oh, I did not have one.
Oh, snaps.
But what I did.
Oh, you know something interesting? They never showed. I just read this in the trivia. They never showed Lumberg's reaction to his car getting towed when they ripped his bumper off.
That's true. Wow.
Never showed his reaction.
Oh, here's a question.
That was a
do
scene
you
that
remember
was.
what his license plate was?
Oh no, I didn't.
My Porsche.
Oh my gosh.
Freaking Lumberg.
It's awesome.
Yeah, I'm glad they didn't need to show that though. I don't think that was not necessary.
I bet that's cut footage.
It forced him to act some way that's not necessary. I think we all knew how he would feel.
Yeah. I wonder how he would react though, because his whole thing was he's just a total like a-hole, over the top. Like I wouldn't even see him like getting mad or yelling. He'd just like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
He should have been looking through the window. Like,
yeah.
Now Drew. Oh, that guy.
Awesome.
Now Lumberg. That is great. I mean, she was seeing the O face for sure. Oh.
He was a good guy. I thought he was playing a really good character.
Again, a character that's in it for less than a minute. I guarantee his screen time was less than a minute.
Yeah.
Two of the most memorable parts of the movie. Like, ow.
I think a lot of people worked with somebody like that because they were all have their little chit chat. They're kind of like drama going on in the cubicle, but then all of a sudden he walks over. He's talking about like all the chicks.
Yeah,
and he's like, I'm going to show this girl from what department? Another department. And he's like,
I don't remember.
oh, I'm gonna see her tonight. I'm gonna show her. Hopefully I'll show her my outfit. And things go right. And it's like there's always that guy who's like. Does the sexual side of work, trying to take out the relationships and stuff.
And just made him extra douchey, just the blonde,
oh yeah,
spiky hair.
And then he had the Oakleys and at the party
the OG guy
with the wraparound thing around his neck. It was very douchey.
I'm thinking I might take that new chick from logistics. Things go well, I might be showing her my O face. Oh. You know what I'm talking about. Oh. Yeah. Right. See you guys there.
They played everything. They wrote the movie and just
everything's great.
Did everything so well.
What a great story. It was a good story, a good finish. Peter finally found his dream job, which was manual labor, which is kind of funny. But I mean, he's working with Diedrich Bader, you know. Just
He's
shoveling
out of the
stuff.
office, which is what he hated.
Old Milton stole all that money and retired on the island. Tom, you know, got hit by a drunk driver. He cashed in.
Spoiler alert!
Hey, this came out in '99. If you haven't seen Office Space, you're F you. It's okay.
This happened at the end. This happened at the end.
Right?
No, I'm just kidding, but.
All right, so what are your guys' ratings here?
That is a good question. When it comes down to it, I was thinking about this earlier. What number would I give it? Because it's such a classic, you know? Is it the best of all time? Of course not. You know.
One other thing about Drew, and remember he was talking about what's that guy? The guy's name with the jump to conclusions, Matt.
Tom.
He was talking about Tom. Remember he was telling him the story of what happened to Tom. What happened
It was
to
like Tom Wiskowski or something.
Yeah, he's like, you know, he was, you know, got in his car and tried to kill himself, whatever, and then he said, then his wife walks in. And then he says he wants to live. He says it in such a douchey way, like, you know, this guy's got a life, you know. He's like, then he decides he wants to live. Oh my gosh.
I don't even remember that.
It's like his coworker. Why are you acting like that, you know?
You okay, Tom? Then as he's looking at her,
Yeah.
he decides he wants to live.
Yeah, I think I'm okay.
Right.
Seems to be working now.
Oh man, this guy, he has no feeling whatsoever. Anyway.
That being said, on account of every actor, as far as I'm concerned, every single character in the movie was perfect.
Yeah.
I think everyone was casted perfectly. The only thing I didn't like is I thought Joanna's character was a little too ditzy. I wish she was like smarter. I felt she's just kind of like.
I didn't feel like she was that ditzy at all.
I kind of did a little bit, just a little bit. But like,
I don't know.
When she was talking to Peter, their initial date, I just kind of felt like she was just kind of.
I didn't take it as ditzy. I took it as being very insecure.
Sure.
Like she was kind of like, you want lunch with me? Like kind of. I don't know.
Is that what you mean, or bother at the date?
Bother at the date. Did you feel that way too? A little bit, like she.
I don't know if that's the.
He started
word
talking
I'd
about
go
his job,
for.
and she just starts going. You know.
Huh.
Yeah.
And then he's like, "Never mind, it's unimportant." But anyways,
I
get it. I get both.
Yeah, okay.
I wish she was. I wish for Jennifer Aniston. I wish she just would have had a bigger thing. It could have been any other actress, and it would have been the same character.
Yeah.
She didn't give it that.
No, I
pizzazz.
agree with that.
So that's all. Besides that, I have to give it a 9. I think it's an all-time classic. If you haven't seen it, then I feel sorry for you, especially for back then.
Yeah.
Like they destroy the printer, the music in it. Like every character has their own thing. They're all memorable. It's absolutely a 9, and I won't hear any other lower score tonight.
You might go up though.
I might go up. It might go 9.1,
You might go.
9.2. We'll see.
Okay.
We'll
All
see
right.
it, we'll see what you say.
I felt like the movie, obviously, super classic. I don't have a lot of much negative at all to say about
Almost
it.
nothing.
I did feel like the middle of it, from the point where
First day seemed like a week, and the second day seemed like 5 days, and the third day seemed like a week again, and the fourth day seemed like 8 days, but the fifth day you went to see your mother, and that seemed just like a day.
The whole bank heist part.
I was gonna say the bank heist part went sour once they realized that didn't go as planned. Through until, I don't know, toward the end, it kind of was slow.
But then you came back, and then later, on the sixth day in the evening when we saw each other, that started seeming like 2 days.
And I always, every time I watch that movie, and I've seen it many, many times, I always feel like that's kind of the boring part of the movie.
Sure.
Like
I
it starts
agree.
off, there's a lot going on, and then it gets kind of boring, and then it finishes pretty well. And
So in the evening it seemed like 2 days spilling over into the next day, and that started seeming like 4 days. So at the end of the sixth day, on into the seventh day, it seemed like a total of 5 days. And the sixth day seemed like a week and a half.
I mean, a lot of important things happen, but
Yeah.
it just, as a viewer, it's a little bit boring. I don't know. So, like if you want to watch it again, like say you want to watch that again the next day, tomorrow or something, I wouldn't want to watch it because of the slowness of certain parts of the movie. But there's a lot of funny parts of it. Now, if you were to say that about, like, let's say UHF or something, I would watch UHF because it's just a great movie, start to finish. There is nothing slow about it. Well, except for that one.
So in the evening, it seemed like 2 days spilling over into the next day, and that started seeming like 4 days. So at the end of the 6th day, on into the 7th day, it seemed like a total of 5 days.
Except for that one. Right. Anyway, it doesn't matter. But so it's not perfect in my opinion.
Certainly
for me, but I'm gonna rate it an 8.8. And in Jennifer Aniston, I did feel like I didn't particularly care for her character.
That's what I was saying.
Overall,
we agree.
I never have felt like I really liked her character in that very much.
Like,
it's
only
okay,
because
but
she's not bad.
No,
it's
she's
just
not bad.
It literally could be anyone else, and they would have maybe brought something different. You know,
she's okay.
She's
yeah,
okay.
But
she's literally the only person in that movie that didn't stand out.
Yeah, you're right.
That's all.
Yeah.
Not bad. She wasn't bad.
As they say, she's vanilla.
Vanilla.
She was vanilla.
Right.
Okay.
All right, Squash.
I'm gonna go ahead and give it an 8.
Flat?
Yeah, an 8 flat. It's a good. it's a good movie. Classic, of course. Hilarious.
This isn't the first time you've ever seen it, is it?
No. Surprisingly.
Right.
But yeah, it was not one of my favorites, but definitely up there. It was a good one. Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that.
I agree.
I feel like you should have knocked it up. I mean, give it 8 point something. It's an all-time classic.
You know, I choose to knock things up in my life, and that's not one of them.
I do love that movie though. I mean, every time I do see it, it reminds me how good it actually is. There's so many good parts in it. Oh, you know, one thing I wanted to say about it though is the soundtrack. I remember I bought the soundtrack.
I remember listening to that in your bird all the time.
I bought that
That's
soundtrack
funny.
because I watched the movie.
I do remember a lot of people buying it.
And I thought, this, you know, I love that, you know, type of music in general. And I thought, I'll buy the soundtrack because I really like the music.
Yeah.
So you're really into Michael Bolton.
Yeah. But I realized after buying it that they play certain parts of the song that are catchy, and because you're watching the movie, it's kind of like it goes.
I remember
with the scene,
that. I remember the whole songs were not very good.
No, they're just
parts of it.
It's really like dark ghetto rap. Like it's
true.
really it's not normally what I was listening to. I love that type of music. That was just like hard dark rap.
Yeah.
And it's just like it's not that enjoyable to listen to. Like all the
I
way
can see
through
that.
every one of the songs. It actually was like I'm surprised. It's such a weird soundtrack for any comedy of a similar type.
Yeah.
It's just like what, but it's actually it kind of went into what kind of made it so funny.
Yeah.
That guy Michael Bolton happened to be into ghetto rap. You know.
Did you know Mike Judge cameoed in the movie?
Really? What did he play? I didn't know that.
Yeah.
We didn't even talk about that. So just in case no one knows, Mike Judge, creator of Beavis and Butthead, he wrote this. He also wrote Idiocracy. Outstanding movies, but
didn't he King of the Hill too?
Yeah, he's also King of the Hill. Yeah.
Probably
Probably
done a bunch of stuff. Anyway, he was Joanna's boss at Tchotchkes.
That was him?
Yes.
What?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Yep.
No way.
His name is Stan. Isn't that funny? Supposedly, that's
You
what
might
they
want to
said.
double check your facts.
We're gonna check that. We'll have Jamie check that in the after. But that's
all right.
I don't think that's. But it could be. It could be. He certainly could have dressed up for the part and
Supposedly.
But that would be crazy.
I know. I didn't catch it either.
I'm somewhat. I know he's like a thinner guy, but I never put two and two together on that.
Yeah. Wild.
So he's the guy that yells at her for the flare.
Yeah.
All right. I mean, I'll believe it because you're saying it. You wouldn't lie to me. Not intentionally. Anyways.
Not intentionally.
But we'll find out. We'll get to the bottom of this. And Josh will put something weird,
Yeah.
But
I was just gonna say, anybody who's like seen this movie and liked it, or you know what, if you didn't like it, it doesn't matter. Just hit like and subscribe.
Yeah.
And just share it to your friends.
That's true. If you've seen this movie, you should like our channel.
Yeah.
Because
what's your favorite part in this movie?
Ooh,
This is a
that's
great
yeah,
movie.
throw that.
What's your favorite part that you always joke about? Put that in the comments, then like, subscribe, and share.
Yeah. Or throw a comment down below. Who's your favorite character in it? Of all the memorable characters, what's the line that sticks out to you? Because there's so many. There's so many that we always quote.
Oh,
like, you guys have one at home
time.
that like your go-to. Like mine was, I think the one I said most of all time, although there are so many good ones, was that every time I'd leave somewhere, I'd say, "Well, I'll see you tomorrow. If I still have a job." I said that so many times. So,
or if you had $1 million, what would you do?
What would you do for? I would do 2 chicks at the same time.
I feel like
we joke about that all the time.
All
too.
the time.
Yeah. Absolutely. That's probably the most common line I've said from that movie.
Yeah, because they take $1 million for 2 chicks, double up on a dude like me.
That's right.
But I think that's gonna do it for us.
Yeah.
This is a long one, but it's an awesome classic movie.
Yeah, a lot of old stories.
A lot of old stories. A lot of old time. We reminisced. You know, it was a good time catching up. Back in
we related to these guys a lot. I mean, in their old job, I think a lot of people relate to these people.
For sure.
So tell us your stories.
Yeah, tell us your quitting work stories.
Yeah,
we'd like to hear them.
We'll comment.
Best one will get a 3D printed It's Always Something podcast trophy.
Wow.
Yeah, maybe. Oh, we'll send them a chip. How about that? Whoever has the best story, we'll send them a little. It's always something.
We'll send you a poker chip.
Yeah, why not?
One of the poker chips off the table here will be.
And if you're the only story, then forget it. You have to have at least one competition.
Yeah, we have to have competition. Yeah, there's no free trophies.
No free trophies.
Anyways, that's gonna do it for us. It's Always Something podcast. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you next week when we watch the next movie.
Bye, guys.